Yo, hello. You know, I'm sorry. By the way, this is like a little announcement, right? I'm very sorry that I didn't post yesterday. You know, oh shoot, sorry, my bad. I'm not supposed to say but I fell asleep at like 7, I think, or like something really early, right? So, you know, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Anyways, let's get into the video, right? Now, this video I think is about talking stages. Yes, okay, no, I remember the topic, sorry. But yeah, so like what is a talking stage, you know? And why is this thing like probably one of the worst things known to mankind, right? I'm sure most of you guys, if you clicked on this video, have, you know, been in a talking stage. And, you know, I'm here to basically clear up what it is, right? To give a little perspective on the topic. So basically, right, when you're a talking stage is like essentially you're dating, but you're not, right? And I know that sounds weird if you don't know what this is, right? But it's basically like saying that they're friends with benefits but without the benefits. You know, it's like I don't know, it's really weird to explain, right? Because no one knows why we have it, right? And I don't know when it started, I don't know why it started, but it's basically like having an open relationship, right? And I don't like these talking stages, right? For numerous reasons, right? Partially because I've been in way too many, but also because I think that they're kind of unproductive in a way, because, you know, if you're gonna talk to someone, right, and you're gonna be talking to a bunch of other people, then what's the point in talking to that one person, right? Be friends with them, right? Don't like, I don't know, I don't want to say lead them on, but like, you get the point, right? Because there's genuinely, in my opinion, there's genuinely no need, right? Now, you guys may have different opinions about this, but this is just my opinion, right? I don't care. I'm talking to myself at 10 p.m. at night, right? Like, I'm not about to argue, but I think the issue with it is that most of them get nowhere, right? Most talking stages, they don't get past the talking stage, right? Whatever that stupid term is, right? Like that's it, right? That's their peak, right? That's the peak of the relationship. Then it's done, right? You don't really talk to them, or you go back to being friends. I don't know. But it's not even like anything special goes on, right? Like, there's no real connections happening. It's just like, oh, you know, I don't know, right? It's there's really nothing to say there's nothing really good to say about it, because there's genuinely, like, I think it's horrible, right? I mean, yeah, if you want to like explore your options, but that's just kind of stupid, right? And here's why, right? Because when you explore your options, right, you're basically saying like, you know, oh, I don't think you're good enough to be with me, right? Like, technically it's not saying that, but it's essentially saying that because, you know, it's saying that you're not the best that I know I could get, or I have a chance of getting, right? So I'm gonna try and get someone else, but if not, then I always have you to back up, right? I always have you, you know, just in case if I fail, which I think is, personally, I think that's stupid. And I think it's even more stupid how I fell in the same part like 3 times in a row. But that's besides the point, right? I think that, you know, I don't know, right? Because I know people have very different opinions on stuff like this. Like, some people like it because, you know, again, they get to explore their options. They get to see, you know, they get to see things, right? But when you're on the other side of things, right? When you're not the one, you know, looking at your options, when you're the one, you know, who's actually trying to get with them, it sucks, right? You know, I've had a couple of friends who've told me about it, right? And me, right? I'm not here to say I'm like Mr. Almighty, right? Like, no, I mean, it's whatever, right? I mean, it's fine now, right? I'm past it. But no, it hurts, right? Like, don't get me wrong, it sucks. And another thing that sucks is that feeling of hope that you get, like, I'm almost there, but I'm not, right? It's like you're gonna forever be pushing that rock up the mountain, or whatever the dude did. I don't know, that was kind of a niche reference if anyone gets that. But I don't know, I could go on complaining for 20 minutes about why I don't like it, but I'm not, right? Because I think that although yes, I don't like it, I think it's a valid point to show both sides of the coin, right? And so here are the positives, I guess, about it. I don't know. Here are my thoughts on what a positive would be about this. I think a positive of this is that you're not really locked in a relationship, right? Because relationships are complicated, right? Most of them are, at least. Some of them are pretty effortless, which is good, but I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that one, but that's besides the point, right? The point is that you're open to new things, right? So like, you could be talking to someone, but you could also be seeing someone else, right? I don't get it, but you could be doing that. I don't know. I don't really know how that one works, but it somehow is a thing, right? And so I think that's good in the sense where if you're in a relationship, right, and you find someone else that's like 10 times better, he's everything that you've ever wanted, but you're in a relationship, right, and you don't want to end it, right? You could, with the talking stage, it's a lot easier to end, right? Which is a downside, but it's also a good thing, right? So I guess that's good. I think another good thing is that you don't really have to go on with the labels and all that stuff of like, oh, are you dating Sally, like blah blah blah. I don't know, Sally just seems like a random name, but you kind of, oh my gosh, you kind of don't have to deal with that, right? You could just say, oh no, we're just friends, blah blah blah. You could just say that, right? And you also get like, it kind of becomes to a point where, because I know if people are dating, right, people definitely ask other people about it, right? I mean, I've seen it firsthand, right? I'm a high schooler. I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not sure if people do that when you're older. I'm not even sure if there is talking when you're older, like if there's talking stages when you're like 20. Like, is that a thing? I don't know. If anyone's like older than like college or something like that, then please let me know if that's like a real thing, because I feel bad, right? If this goes on through your whole life, that sucks. Because like, realistically, right, when you're out of high school, who do you really meet, right? You meet your coworkers, you meet new friends at places, right? But you don't meet that many people when you're in high school, right? Whenever you go to like events or like things, you just meet new people, right? And you make friends, right? It's a big part of high school. And so you get to meet all these new people, all these wonderful new people, and maybe you like them, maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't care, right? Beats me, But yeah, I think that's pretty cool, right? But meeting new people is definitely huge. I don't know, right? Because then again, when the more people you meet, right, the more you reconsider like who you're with, right? Because let's just say you meet this dude named, I don't know, Jeremy, right? And Jeremy over here, he's a pretty good looking fellow, right? He's not bad looking, right? But he's not bad. He's got a nice personality. And so you start talking with him, right? And then you meet this new guy called Jerome, and oh man, Jerome's like 10 times better than Jeremy could ever be, right? And so in that case, right, I guess, oh, please don't. Okay. Anyways, but Jerome, you could be like, oh, hey Jeremy, I'm sorry, just cut things off, right? Because it's a talking stage. You guys were never dating, so you don't have to feel the guilt of that. I don't know. And then you just go with Jerome, or you talk with Jerome, because then you find a new guy named Michael. Michael's so much better than Jeremy and Jerome. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up, but you guys better get the point, right? So I don't know, I guess it's good in that sense, but I don't know, I don't really like it that much. But it's good to live, right? It's good to live your life, explore, try new things. So in a sense, I guess it's good because you're not really committing, I guess. How do I do this? Oh, never mind. And then yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this. So I mean, it's already been 10. Oh wait, it's already been 10 minutes. Oh, this is a full video. Okay, never mind. Yeah, with that, I'm really sorry that I didn't post yesterday. I'll make it up to you guys by posting on an educational channel, right? I'm gonna make a video real quick because I think that it's a great time because I didn't post yesterday and I feel bad. So yeah, if you guys want to look at that, I'm pretty sure it's in alternate channels. If you just check my YouTube channel, it should show an alternate channel. And instead of doing like how to add, subtract, you know, because that seems like it'll take a long time to learn, I'm going to teach you guys about coding, right? And so with that, Death, I think that I'm going to call it. But you know, if you ever been in a talking stage and you agree with me, my bad, then you know, please let me know in the comments, right? I really enjoy reading the comments and I do try and respond. You know, I'm human. I like to interact. I don't like when people just watch my videos, but I do appreciate the views. You know, 20 views averaging now. It's kind of nice. So with that, I hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, that's it for me. And bye.